ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, 815.
Don't mean to bum you out, but somewhere out there is an Easter egg that has gone the longest without being found. I'm Greg. He's Tom. It's the In Crowd 815 podcast. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. I am the Easter egg whisperer. I will find it. It may be a rotten egg and I'll get sick, but I will have found it.
Well, the anxiety causing agent of this whole thing is, you know, grandma put money in some of those eggs. We want to find that egg because it might have $20 in it.
Now I'm certainly going to find it. We did a little mini Easter egg hunt for all the grandkids last Sunday.
Okay.
And I told my son, he was the one that came over and did it. I said, Matthew, we are going to be finding eggs for the next 3 weeks. And he laughed. I found 2 of them so far.
Well, after doing this for years with all of our kids, grandma
20 cents
decided my mother-in-law, she decided to inventory these eggs. So she knew how many were out there. And she knew that the golden egg was the one with the big cash money in it. So if the golden egg was still out there, you weren't done searching. That was the good news.
You're going over to Graham's house today, right?
That's part of the deal. Something's going on. All right. Hey, we have a big show for you and the person still sleeping next to you. So if they're still sleeping, give them a little nudge. Say, hey, wake up. Greg and Tom are making noise and they're talking. So it's time to get on and listen to what's going on. And if, of course, you missed us live, you can watch us later on Spotify. Good morning, Big Bear.
Wake up. Wake up, little buddy. Wake up.
Let's do this before I get lost. Our current race to 10 has Joann with a lead of 3-2. But Tom was the winner of our last race to 10 pretty decisively. Our big number of the week this week isn't that big. Tom's going to be disappointed. 117 is the big number of the week this week. 117. And the answer is Swish or Spain.
My last golf score.
That's a golf reference for you RDM folks already on the show. That's Tom for you. That's what makes Tom. No, we'll give you the answer before the end of the show. Tom.
All right, so what do we say?
Swish or Spain? What do you think the big number of the week is all about?
Okay.
Tell us your made up story in the comments. Go ahead and drop it in there. Dan, Tulsa, good morning to you. You already pinched yourself and you're fully that goes on the screen. Dan's already pinched himself. He's fully awake.
Wow.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. It's a little hard to elbow yourself, isn't it? It's not the same to elbow yourself awake. So maybe a pinch is a better idea.
Yeah.
We need to learn more about our guests because they are in the 815. They have an 815 not-for-profit foundation, but I don't know a lot of their history. Marc and Jamie Kuney are coming on with us now. Good morning to you, Kuneys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us today on the show. And I know you've got a guest that you've invited to come along with you too. We're going to bring him on in just a second, but first we want to learn a little bit about you folks. Did you both grow up here in the 815? Tell us about your backstory a little bit.
Yeah, I'm Jamie. I'm Ryan's mom. I grew up in Pecatonica and lived there till I was about 19 years old, and then moved to the big metropolis of Rockford to experience the city life, and then started attending some softball games out at Forest Hills, and that's where I met Marc.
Okay.
And I grew up in Michigan and moved over here for work about 35 years ago, and just started working, lived up in the Roscoe-Rockton area when I first moved in, and then I met Jamie at softball games when she was pregnant with Ryan.
Mm-hmm. I was pregnant.
Okay, cool. So you guys have basically been around this area for a long time. Yep. And started this foundation honoring your late son Ryan. And I guess do we want to get into this backstory we'll bring Brian in a little bit. Let's start at the beginning. Tell us about Ryan and who he was and a little bit about his backstory.
Okay. Well, Ryan, he grew up in Rockton, Illinois, and attended the Rockton Grade School, Whitman Post, Stephen Mack, and then, of course, Hononegah. He was a 3-sport athlete, very active in the community. As far as personality, I'm his mom, so he was the best kid in the world. But he was enduring and loving and caring and extremely compassionate. He went to Southwest Minnesota on a football scholarship for about a half a year.
Mustangs? Was that the Mustangs?
Yep.
You know why I know that?
Why?
When my son played with a kid who played football and got a scholarship at Southwest Minnesota.
Okay. Who was that?
Jeff Polsine.
Oh, that doesn't sound familiar.
Jeff, I'm guessing is probably a couple years behind Ryan. I'm guessing. Okay. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure Ryan spent more time at the casino than he did at anyplace else. Right? Why he ended up coming home.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and he got redshirted, and he had a lot of extra time. Yeah, he wasn't used to that.
No. Jeff was a crazy awesome linebacker. So I think he played all 4 years out there.
Okay.
But, so Ryan comes home, and where do we go from there?
Yeah, so he went to Rock Valley and went up to Platteville and tried that, and just decided the school wasn't for him and enlisted into the Marines. And actually, it'll be 10 years ago this April that he went out to California to be a Marine.
Okay. So yeah, he definitely was older than Jeff and Kenny. So he goes out to California, does the boot camp thing.
Yeah.
They plug him into where they think he's going to be fulfilled and useful. The Marine thing, I'm assuming, I don't know this, is something like the Army thing, right? The boot camp and the assessment tests and saying, okay, here's 2 or 3 possible career tracks for you. Did they let them choose, or do they just put them in they determine if you're a square or circle and put you in the right hole?
That's exactly it. Yeah, you go up to MEPS in Milwaukee and take a bunch of tests, and they tell you this is what you're going to do once you get through boot camp, and this is where you'll be stationed and go to school. And originally he was going to end up in Missouri and do logistics, but he got the opportunity to go in early. We didn't really know a lot about it, so he accepted going in early, and he ended up at 29 Palms, and he did the Amtrackers. He became a crew chief on an Amtracker.
Okay.
So that's what they take the guys from the boat to the land in. Everybody's in the container, and then it's basically a can that floats to shore.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. When you said Amtrak, I'm thinking
No.
Right. But those are the transports that we see probably from those like World War II videos back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Storming the beaches.
Amphibious assault vehicle. I was at AAV. Hey, and you notice our lights blinking.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you had an idea, Marc.
I was instead of raising my hand, I had the light going off.
Yeah, there you go.
Would that be,
you got several ideas in the last 30 seconds.
Would that be a Good Morning Ryan sign? Is that what?
Yes, probably Ryan saying, "Hey, I'm still here." So
yeah, it's him reminding me Brian is waiting in the wings, and we got to hear from Brian too. So I'm going to bring Brian on. Brian King, you mentioned was a friend of Ryan's back in the day. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us this morning. Having known Ryan for how many years?
Since we were probably about 10 years old. So
okay.
Quite
let's go ahead and give Brian the floor here a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your memories of Ryan and growing up with Ryan in Stephen Mack Middle School and all the stuff you guys did.
Yeah, so originally from the Rockton area as well. So grew up with Ryan going to Stephen Mack and Whitman Post, and then on to Hononegah, played every sport with Ryan, throughout school, and then travel sports as well. we met in 3rd grade playing football for the Rockton Lions back in the day, and Kuney was our coach. So from early stage, Ryan and I just became very close and pretty much inseparable. We were always together, whether it was summer break, during the school year, practices, weekends, whatever it was, we were kind of always together. Miss Jamie always jokes it was always Brian and Ryan. It was, kind of tandem people that were always together. So then after high school, we kind of went our separate ways. I went to University of Wisconsin-Madison for a couple of years as Ryan went to the Marine Corps route. And then I came to downtown Chicago, where I still live today. But Ryan and I still stayed close, throughout this whole time. And whenever we had the chance to get together, we'd always meet up, and we'd still go on vacations together. Grew up going on vacations with the Kuneys. Brian grew up and going on vacations with my family as well, going to football camps, just kind of all over the board. So I've known the Kuneys for a very, very long time.
And I think this is really important. I'm glad we're having this conversation the way that we're having this conversation. I hope you guys see the value in this too, mainly because what Ryan went through, it appears to me, was a very normal childhood that all of us can relate to.
Yep, absolutely.
All of us can relate to, and to have him go through what he went through and end up how he ended up. It's important to see that mental health is complicated. It's very complicated. And we're experiencing that in Rockford this week. We're hearing, the stories of the tragedies that happened here this week in our own community again, of what I think we can all pretty much agree boils down to mental health awareness, mental health of it. What are people thinking? What are people doing? How are people being helped? How are they not being helped? And when you decided to start this foundation, I'm assuming, Jamie, were you the catalyst of that, or was there something else that kind of said, let's start this foundation?
Actually, I was not. Not. And I was like, Marc, if you want to do this, you can go right ahead and do it. I'm going to sit in the background and watch. So that's where we bring Brian and another young man, Ryan Sadler, into the picture. They reached out to Marc in December of 2021 and asked if he would be okay if they did a golf outing to memorialize Ryan. And he's like, yeah, of course. How do we do this? Okay. And then they figured out, you know what, we need to set up a foundation to funnel the money through it so everybody knows it's legit and where the money's going. And I'll let you guys take it from there. So I was not the catalyst, but I'm like the number one supporter.
He was a great supporter.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Ryan Sadler and BK came and said, hey, let's do this. What do you think? What do we do? And I said, okay, well, we're going to need some help. And we got a bunch of people together, and about 4 or 5 other guys. And it was amazing, the support we got from the community. It was amazing. It was like, you would love all that support for the vets as they're going through what they're going through when they're going through it. And they don't realize it's there, because, there's people that go to Swedes and Rosecrans and all those other places to get help. But if, sometimes you look at somebody and you say, man, that guy's crazy, but you don't ask him if he needs help. Don't ask him if there's anything I can do for you. But that's how it started. And those are what we were thinking, and how we can get help to local people. And BK's been great, and so is Rhino.
Well, I think the number one question most people ask when they come across a foundation like yours is, what does the money do? I'm going to donate. I'm going to drop a few bucks into this Donate Now tab here on your website, and it's going to go somewhere. Where do you see the greatest impact for the money donated to RDM Foundation?
BK, you want to talk about the dogs?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first year, just take a history lesson quick. So when we first started in 2022, our first initial donation just went to Rocks In American Legion and Mission 22. And then last year, with last year's donations, we want to expand to a broader reach outside of those 2 organizations. So we found a organization that trains service dogs in Lyons, Illinois. still the local general area around Rockford. So they're an organization that train and sponsor service dogs for ex-military people, so for all veterans. So they help train the veteran themselves as well as the dog, just to live your everyday life. And those are their companions. So they go through the training program together, opposed to some other organizations where they train the dog and then give the dog to a veteran. The veteran doesn't know how to adapt or how to kind of work with that dog, because every dog and every veteran is unique and has various reasons why they need a service animal. So they work with the veteran and the dog themselves to kind of figure out what's best for their situation. So that's our biggest organization that we're giving to now, is sponsoring these service dogs for more service members to receive animals.
Okay. So you see yourself as an organization to support other organizations, which I think is great.
Yeah. So really focusing just on organizations that help mental health and just suicide awareness.
What our goal is eventually, like I always say, we're kind of in the infant toddler stages of the foundation. As the board tries to figure out where we really want to have the biggest impact, about a year ago, we decided we really want to stay local and help local veterans. And maybe eventually, grow into that and get bigger and spread our wings. But right now, we're looking for other organizations to support, but then set up our website and start reaching out to other people. Well, if you need help, we're going to have information on our website. We kind of teamed up with it's called Veterans Bridge Home out of North Carolina. They're very, very open into helping us setting something up like that. In this area, we just haven't gotten there yet. One, because all the board members and volunteers still work full time. And as you can see, Ryan, was 28 when we lost him. He'd be 31 now. And all his friends that are involved in this are young, getting married, starting their families. So they're very busy. So we're trying to make it so it's a balance for everybody, and it doesn't become another job for them. We want it to come from the heart and not burden people with this, because we try to look at it as what would Ryan want? Ryan would want balance. Ryan would want people to be totally happy.
Simple.
While helping other people. Yeah, simple.
Yeah. Every time the subject comes up of the suicide statistics of those who leave the military, and it's just heartbreaking. It's so sad to see how so many young people, with good intentions and trying to serve and find themselves and find the career track, and for all manner of different reasons, end up taking their own lives and finding themselves in some kind of hopeless place. Thankfully, organizations like yours, supporting other organizations, are out there trying to make a difference and to make sure that these young people know there is purpose for them after the military. Even if they don't find their niche in the military, they can still find it out of the military when they're done serving. I know when we talked earlier, Marc, that this year, you said this year's golf outing is already sold out. Is that correct?
That is correct. We've got 160 golfers lined up already. We have 40 volunteers that'll be helping us out. We're looking for donations and baskets if you'd like to donate, things that we could, raffle off for people. Last year, I think we had close to 45 baskets that we raffled off. So it's really a good time. We do dinner at the Legion. If you would like to go to the dinner, maybe not the golf outing, I think, Brian, we still have some tickets available for that. Some space available where we can just pay for the dinner and come enjoy the company.
There's still space for that? Maybe?
Yeah, there's still space for people to come to dinner. Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to put the link to the website here in the chat so people can easily find where that is, and then see if I can also copy the Facebook page here and put that in the chat as well, so people can find your Facebook page really, really easily. So this event sold out. That's pretty awesome. I mean, that's gotta warm your heart to know that you put the word out there and it's already sold out here. And it's not till June.
Yeah, we've never. I think the first year we went public and went out and started finding golfers, but the second and third year everybody's come back. We have basically the same people coming back every year. We get a couple different people, but we've never, the last 2 years we haven't opened it to the public because we were just full.
Yeah. Well, you know what some clubs have done? They've gone to using 2 courses or doing 2 days.
No.
It's as complicated as it already is. So we started out with 72 golfers and went to 144 in the first year without even thinking twice. So
I want to thank Cassie over at Mactown Construction. She's the one that connected me with you guys to connect and have you on the podcast here today. So those who do want to still contribute to this can still donate. There's a donate button on the website. If you have something that you want to donate to the silent auction type site items, that's available too. Is there anything else that we're not asking you that you want to make sure we talk about today? Any details or other events after the golf outing? Anything that I might be missing that you want to make sure we throw out there?
I mean, we're looking to do other events. You mentioned one the other day, something that we can go look at, whether it's a bowling thing or the axe throwing thing like you talked about. We're going to try to continue to do things like that. But like Jimmy said, we're just trying to figure it out right now and what we can do and not overburden people with trying to help us out. So,
yeah, we live in a very generous community. So it's really cool that Rockford does tend to rally around legitimate needs. So I think if you keep the discussion going, I think you'll see someone that'll want to organize a bowling fundraiser for you guys, or axe throwing out of big timber or something like that. That'll just get people out to support your cause.
That would be awesome.
What were you going to add, Brian? I think
Oh, no, you're good.
They're good. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that covers all of our bases today. So if someone does want to volunteer for you, you don't have any room for people to volunteer at this event this year. You're already full.
At this time, we're already full. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Which is a good problem to have. But we always take lists for next year. If there's people that want to contribute in any way or help out, we can always keep your name and remember it for next year and reach out at that time.
Waiting list for volunteers. Tom, this might be a first for us in 4 years that we've put the call out for volunteers.
Yeah.
And the organizers are saying, well, no, hold on. We're good.
No, yeah, we don't need any more. Just still send some money, though. Send some money. Money's always good because
the money in the baskets. Yeah, that'll work, right?
Yeah, awesome. Having the donation baskets is really our main source of income. That's where the golfers, that's where they put all their money towards the day of, and that's how we raise all the money that we do to be able to give to other organizations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And think of it this way too: money. For somebody to send $20, $50, $100, it's a foot in the door. Now you're familiar with the organization. Now the next time it comes up, oh yeah, that was a great organization. I donated last year. I'm going to do more this year. It helps to raise awareness. So, folks, if you've got a spare 20, a spare 50, whatever, please send it because it can always help. Unlike you don't send any more golfers. We don't need them, but we do need money. So. That's always a good thing.
I do have one more thing. We are working. We're really just started in the last couple months working with Rosecrans and their new veterans thing that they're setting up. They're just getting people in position to do that. We're going to be working with them to be able to push people to them if they contact us and they need it. So we'll be able to have another opportunity for people to get some help.
Awesome. Good deal. Very good idea. All right. So before we let you go, we'd like to try a little trivia on you guys. And as I mentioned earlier in the chat, we've got a link to the website. We've got a link to the Facebook page. So give that a try. I'm going to try a new screen here to see if this works. I don't know if this is going to work for us or not. Yeah, I think this is going to work. Well, that's a nice screen. Hey, Tom.
All right, Mark and Jamie, you're going to have to put your heads together figuratively and literally. There we go.
That's it. I can be blocked out. You guys, I'll try to be your lifeline for your trivia. Maybe we'll see how it goes.
You are kind of square anyway, Greg.
I'll just stay right.
All right, up for grabs, folks. Is this wonderful trophy?
Uh-oh.
This wonderful, or you can opt for door number 2, which is a little Snoopy something or other. I know, Mark and Jamie, when you first saw me on the screen, I'm pulling out my big giant stuffed animal, and I've got frogs, and I've got Snoopy and all that. I'm an odd individual. In a good way, though. In a good way. All right, here we go. You ready for trivia?
Yeah.
Sure.
I promise they won't be too difficult. All right, here we go. Question number 1. What is the symbol for ever-ready batteries? Once again,
Energizer
what is
bunny.
the symbol for ever-ready batteries?
Is it a lightning bolt?
Remember, Greg, you're locked out.
I
on
know.
this
I'm trying
one.
to think of a.
Brian, you can
something to
join
help.
too. Oh, and by the way, I shouldn't have to say it, but no Googling.
No
No
Googling.
Googling.
Yeah, B's Googling.
Is that the guy that put the battery on his shoulder?
I'm looking at his eyes like.
Put the battery on his shoulder. I knock it off my shoulder. I dare you. Go ahead. I dare you. Who was
I
that?
don't know.
No idea.
Never heard of it.
Once you
It could have been, but that's not
That's
the
not
answer.
him.
Once again, what is the symbol for ever-ready batteries?
We don't know.
Is it just a plus sign?
All right, Brian, no guess.
I don't know.
It is a cat. It's a cat running through the number 9.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And it's blue with a number 9 yellow and a
As soon
black
as you
cat.
say that, now I see it in my
Oh.
head.
All right.
I don't even remember that.
All right, 2 more.
All right. Number 2, question number 2. What is the only dog whose smelling prowess is actually admissible in a court of law?
Is that German Shepherd?
German Shepherd, yeah.
Oh.
Any other guesses? I'll always ask if there are any other guesses just because
I'm thinking
that one's wrong.
it's got to be like a bloodhound.
A hound dog?
Bloodhound is
Bloodhound.
No.
correct. Bloodhound's correct. Hound dog
Hound
works.
dog.
But we'll go blood. All right. Here we go. Geography question. Sort of. In 1971, East Pakistan won its independence from Pakistan and became this country.
East Pakistan.
No Googling, Brian.
Yeah.
East Pakistan became what country?
Yep. 1971, East Pakistan won its independence from Pakistan and became this country.
Is there a country called Kumar?
No, but I went to school with a guy named Kumar. I did.
I was gonna say either Iraq or Afghanistan.
East
'Cause
Pakistan.
I don't think they're that old.
Okay, I'm going to give you one hint, and it's going to be a very, very, very kind of a. Maybe Greg will get it because he's a music guy. The first part of this country.
You just
is
said music.
part
That's all
of
I
that-
needed. I know now.
Okay.
I think I.
What are you thinking? Oh, I'm completely confused now. What do you think, Greg?
Kathmandu.
Israel.
No,
Ah,
Kathmandu. Okay, no. All right, it's a Todd Rundgren song, one of his absolute favorite. They play it at every arena. Think of the song, and that's the first part of this country.
No idea.
I want to bang on the drum all day. Bangladesh.
Oh.
Bangladesh.
Sorry, we didn't do very
All
good
right.
there.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. The problem with trivia, sometimes if you're not in that mindset, I do it 3 nights a week. Greg does it fairly often. If you're not in that mindset, it's really hard to come up with that stuff. Now, if we were to do this every single week, in about 3 or 4 weeks, if you were to play trivia or something like that, you'd be winning. You'd be scoring.
We know what he was
high
fishing
scores.
for. That's right. That's right. All right. Well, the as I mentioned earlier, the links are in the chat. If you want to go right to the Rdm Foundation and check out all that they're doing, make a donation, and get on that waiting list for volunteers. Maybe get on the waiting list for next year's golf tournament. If you
That's right.
it's I don't know how you're going to expand on this, but I'm sure someone will help you do it. So you'll any
Well,
final words?
we appreciate your time today, too.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thanks for having us.
Brian, Marc, Jamie, thanks for coming on, and all the best in your event. All right. We'll
Pleasure
talk
to
to
meet you.
Thank you.
There we go. All right, there we go. And Joann is over at PAWS Humane Society. Good morning to you, Joann.
Good morning, Joann. You want to hear something that makes this a really small world?
Whoa,
I didn't. I couldn't really. What's that?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Bangladesh. Okay, so Brian mentioned that they played football for Roscoe Rockton Lions.
Yep.
And his age is 31. My son's age is 31. He turns 32 day after tomorrow. What is today? Today's 30th. Tomorrow. Turns 32 tomorrow. And when my son was playing football, they were playing Rockton Roscoe Lions, the championship game. My son was the one that intercepted the pass that won it for Nelson Storm.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up while they were watching. They may still be watching. I apologize if you are, and if that digs up some old memories. But
one of those memories.
I just thought that was kind of like I'm doing the math, and as soon as he said, "Well, we're 31," I'm like, "Uh-oh." Yep.
That's wild. That
really was wild. Absolutely crazy.
Oh goodness. Well, I do have some randoms to share this week before we get into all things PAWS, and we're doing good on time. By the way, next week on the show, our friend Diane Logston, the master of disaster, is going to be on our show talking about a big May preparedness event. The question, of course, that I'm going to have for her, Tom, is will we even get to May? Because the eclipse is happening April 8th. And that could be the end of the world. Are you ready for the end of the world?
I don't know, Oral Roberts, if we're going to make it or not.
You know it. You know it.
Yeah, no, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will.
Okay, while I'm doing these shout outs, Tom and Joann, be thinking about some of your Easter memories, whether it's with your kids or when you were a kid. Mm-hmm. More specifically, when you were a kid, do you have any fond Easter memories?
I've got several of them.
Because there's one that I definitely want to share today, but it being Easter weekend, what is your fond Easter memories? Oh, Dan wanted to ask you too, by the way, didn't the cat have a lightning bolt for a tail? The Eveready battery cat?
No, Dan, I think that's when you lit a cat on fire when you were 12. I think that's what it was. By the way, that's not where a firecracker goes, buddy.
Oh, Lord. In Crowd 815 Networking Group met this week. I want to thank Dr. Sally, Dr. Chris and Elizabeth Sally for hosting at Elevated Health Essentials. We had a great time Thursday night. The weather was just awesome. We could have had it outside almost. It was so beautiful on Thursday.
It was good. It was good.
We had quite a few folks that intended to attend, and there was a kudos to the Rivets for their big ribbon cutting gathering that they had out at Rivet Stadium for their new stadium sponsor. So the State Line Chamber, they had an event going on at the same time as ours, a little bit earlier than ours. So some of those folks came to In Crowd after they were done over there. But we had a really great turnout for the March 2024 edition of the In Crowd 815 Networking Group. Excited about next month's meeting already. April 25th, that evening, we will be at Mactown Construction, which is way up on North Alpine, pretty much where North Alpine Road ends, way up there in Mutchesney Park. So come on out and plan on joining us the last Thursday of April. The experts are warning about counterfeit safety glasses that are being sold and or distributed during next month's solar eclipse. If you want to look at a solar eclipse, you want to make sure you're wearing the right protection on your face. Don't take a chance is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You don't risk, damaging your eyesight with some kind of counterfeit thing. Do you remember in 2017, the last time we had an eclipse event?
We had some.
I really don't, because I don't pay that much attention to it.
Oh,
yeah.
You were still teaching at that time, Joann, right?
Yeah,
2017.
We had a box that we looked in with a mirror.
Okay. Yes. Yes. You are right about that because I remember something about a box. You make a box and it shines in. I don't remember
We're
where I was.
supposed to take the kids out though, because
No.
I taught preschool.
Yeah, the little kids would have been spending their time looking straight at the sun. Not a good idea.
That's you say don't look. Yeah.
Our Keller Williams office was still over at Crimson Ridge, so we were out in the side yard out of the Crimson Ridge building, and we had a couple people that like cut boxes in certain ways, so the light would come through a hole in the box and hit the backside of the box, and you could watch the eclipse happen. We actually had one guy with a welding mask. He was watching the eclipse through his welding mask visor, which I can only assume is good enough for an eclipse. If it's good enough for welding,
I think it would be okay. I think that's what I would think it would work.
I would think so. So this one is extra special on April 8th because it's going to last like twice as long as any eclipse I think we've had in our lifetime. This is I'm intrigued by the science and this whole thing, the physics of this whole thing, whatever, because the last time the totality lasted about 2 minutes. This one, the totality is going to last 4 minutes.
Wow.
It's not going to be something you can ignore. I mean, if you're anywhere near the path.
You were saying that the glasses they're selling are not safe. Is that
there are some people selling these counterfeit safety glasses and they will damage your eyes. So you want to make sure you're getting protection from a reputable source. Because you're gonna be tempted to look straight at the sun. Let's just face it, and you really shouldn't unless you have a proper protection for your eyes. Be careful. That's all. Be careful. Some other randoms this week. Apple's decided not to make electric cars. Apple has changed its mind, will not be building electric cars. I know there was talk about them competing with Tesla in the electric car market. They are not going to do that. Mondelez it's changing the recipe of one of their cookies. Mondelez International's 61-year-old cookie brand is changing its recipe next month, adding more cocoa and vanilla content. How many people are going to notice when this happens? Chips Ahoy is a very popular cookie. Now, not quite as popular as Oreos, but it's up there. It's probably a top 5. And Chips Ahoy is updating its recipe for its billion-dollar chocolate chip cookie brand, Chips Ahoy. Do you think you would notice?
Well, how did that work for Coca-Cola with New Coke?
That's exactly my first thought. That was my first thought right away, was the Coca-Cola changing of their recipe. And within, a month, they were saying, okay, we're going back.
Yeah, it was a dumb move in the beginning. But here's the thing. Don't mess with a good thing. If you got slumping sales and people are saying, we just don't like your cookie anymore. Okay, fine. Let's experiment. Let's do something. But if it's number 2, number 3, number 5, whatever, if it's maintaining and it has for 60 years, don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Learn from history.
Don't
News from fooddive.com says Chips Ahoy has more than 53% share of the market. And they were invented in 1963 by Nabisco. Mondelez now owns Chips Ahoy. They also own Ritz and Oreo.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, you got to slow down there because what does that mean? Mondelez owns Nabisco? Nabisco owns Mondelez or what? Or did Nabisco sell off part of their?
Yeah, they bought it out from Nabisco.
Okay.
That
sounded bad when I said you got to slow down there. It's my brain processing. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Nabisco Brands is one of the big 6. There's like the big 6 companies that own like all the food we eat. So Nabisco maybe I don't know. Did they sell it to Mondelez, or is Mondelez now a subsidiary of Nabisco? They
Well, that's
do
what I'm
all the
wondering.
shell game stuff with businesses.
They do. It's tax shelters and
Yeah.
money laundering. No, I'm kidding.
All that to say, you might notice a difference in the taste of your Chips Ahoy cookie sometime next month when the recipe might change.
You know what I would love to do? I would love to put Chips Ahoy next to Great Value chocolatey chip, the equivalent of it, and just say, hey, put like 2 or 3 of them in, and wait till somebody says, oh, I had a bad cookie there. It just didn't taste like the others, or see if anybody notices. Because when you're doing the side-by-side taste test, sometimes you got, oh, well, there's something different, so I'm going to have to taste something different, and then your mind creates something. But I would love to do that kind of an experiment.
A blind taste test. Tom wants to be your guinea pig for your blind taste test for chocolate chip cookies.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Warm up for
8 seconds, and they're delicious.
There you go.
She's got the fix right there. That's how it works. Chick-fil-A was also in the news recently. America's 3rd largest restaurant chain. They are testing a new product in one of its tests. They have an innovation. They call it an innovation kitchen, and so they're testing a new product at Chick-fil-A. You will never guess what they might start serving at Chick-fil-A by the end of the year if this goes well.
Hot dogs.
Good guess, because you would not expect it, but no, it's not hot dogs. Chick-fil-A is experimenting with pizza.
Oh
wow.
Hamburger.
Yeah. No, Chick-fil-A pizza. I'm a big fan of barbecue chicken pizza. So if they come with a Chick-fil-A barbecue chicken pizza, I'm trying it, and I'm probably going to like it. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Just remember, you won't be able to get it on Sunday. Highest paid actor. Have you heard about this? The highest paid actor of 2023. Last year's highest paid actor made $73 million, according to Forbes. And I'll give you a hint. His movies most recently have all been only on Netflix.
Oh, wow.
Famous actor, makes a lot of movies.
Rocky, Sylvester Stallone.
No. He makes a lot of movies. They're all almost all comedies. He's only done a couple of series, maybe 1 or 2 serious movies that I can think of.
Ryan Reynolds.
He loves acting with Drew Barrymore and Jennifer Aniston.
And Affleck.
No. Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler, highest paid actor of 2023. And not because he's putting out blockbuster movies. He's making Netflix movies, and he's getting paid to make those. So, holy cow.
Adam Sandler. I wouldn't have guessed that. Maybe my 23rd guess would have been.
I wouldn't have guessed it either. Thanks to if you're wondering where I get a lot of this stuff, like the big number of the week, you want to get The Hustle. And I'm going to put that link.
We won't be amazed by your knowledge.
That's okay. Yeah. I want you to get this too. You want to know the big number of the week and some of this other random stuff that we share on the show. Get The Hustle daily.
I don't check into The Hustle because I want to guess the big number of the week. I don't want to know it.
He wants to know it, not guess.
Here's the thing, Tom. The Hustle is a daily email newsletter, and it's not small, but it's not huge. It's
full. So we might, even if we get it, we might not get the.
Yeah. It's 5 or 6 pages of information every day, and I don't necessarily read it every day. I kind of go through it a couple times a week. And so you never know which one I'm going to grab the information from. Last few things. Saudi oil giant Aramco reported $121 billion profit last year. Hello. Second highest number they've ever achieved. In 2022, they had a profit, not a sales, a profit of $161 billion, an all-time record for a public company. Congratulations, Aramco. Guy in China sentenced to 1 year in prison for breaking into another man's house and eating one of his what?
Steaks.
No, it's an animal.
Oh, geez.
Dog.
A guy in China was sentenced to 1 year in prison, breaking into another man's house and eating one of his animal that starts with the letter T.
T.
Turtles?
A tortoise.
A tortoise.
He ate one of his neighbor's tortoises.
You can't just sit down and eat it. He'd have to have cooked it into a stew or something. You can't just say, "Oh, I feel like eating a turtle today."
I don't. That's crazy. All right, last two things.
So finish the story. Did he take it home and eat it, or what?
he broke into a man's house and just ate one of his. I'm guessing the tortoise was already prepared.
Then it would.
I'm thinking it was already. Why would you? Yeah, I don't think it was a live tortoise. What's the first thing you do? What's the first thing you do when you get home after a long day?
I usually let my dogs out. They're just chomping at the bit to go out.
Is this going off the turtle?
No bunny trails today. Turtle trails. We're going off turtle trails.
Oh.
First thing you do after a long day. When you get home after a long day, what's the first thing you normally do?
Pajamas. I don't know.
Yeah, sweatpants go on.
Come in the house and let the dogs out.
As long as Veda's taken care of, my first inclination whenever I get home after a long day is to eat something, anything, even if it's just a snack.
Thank you.
Not turtles, though. Not turtles. All right. Now your Easter memory. Do you have a lasting, long-lasting, impactful Easter memory, either from your childhood or from your kids, that you're willing to share?
Well, I think I need to share that my son Jason, who you all hear me talk about, was born on an Easter Sunday. And so that is my most memorable Easter, because when I called my mom to announce the birth, and I had been saying for months that I was going to have a son or a boy born on Easter Sunday.
Really?
No one believed me. So when I made the announcement, everyone thought my mom just said, "Okay, Joann, but how are you?" I said, "You don't want to hear about your new grandson?" And she said, "No, because you're just joking." So I had to put Steve on the phone and have him tell her that yes, indeed, we had a son born on Easter.
It really happened, Mom.
Yeah,
I'm not lying.
And then they announced it in church during the service, which was really exciting. Now, I didn't hear it, of course, but everyone in our church knew. And my granddaughter, my new granddaughter, who was born on Palm Sunday, which is trying to keep a family tradition going. My daughter had a baby last Sunday. And so
nice. That's amazing.
That's so cool.
That's amazing. Cool. How about you, Tom?
All right. First of all, I misspoke earlier. I said my son's birthday was tomorrow. I forgot March has 31 days. So it's actually April 1st. My son's birthday is April Fool's Day, April 1st. So in 2 years, his birthday will be, no, it won't work. It won't work for Easter. Anyway, forget all that. I'm going through the motions in my head and it's not working. All right. So my greatest Easter memory, we were never, quote unquote, a religious family. Didn't go to church as a kid. Never did. My mom and dad would send us off to church down at the local church about 6 blocks away, but they never went. We never went as a family. It wasn't until I started getting involved in youth groups, 16, 17, 18, and then, got married, had kids, and then really made a commitment to going to church. My greatest Easter memories have to do with colors. I am a huge fan of pastels. Okay. I love the yellows and the lavenders and the pinks and purples and lime greens or whatever.
Calming colors.
Calming color. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. He's like my little frog here. I love this frog. You may have noticed him from our NAMI event. It's my little frog. Anyway, I love those colors. My mom would always put out some Easter baskets that were full of color. And the one thing I miss most is these long, they're about that long, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches long. They were hard shell marshmallow eggs, very oblong, kind of oval, but with a flatter kind of a bottom. I don't see them anymore, but you can get them. I saw them online. But those are some of my greatest memories, having to do with candy, food, dinner, family coming over. So not so much in terms of the religious aspect of it, although we have created some good memories in the last 20, 30 years with family going to church and Easter parties and such. So that's
Nice.
mine.
Nice.
Kind of lame-o, I know, but
We've always had great Easters with our kids because my wife just loves putting together the Easter baskets and doing all the fun stuff, the little things that make the day just really something memorable for our kids and stuff. But one of my earliest Easter memories growing up in a little town in Wisconsin was the Easter. I was probably about 7 years old, so about second grade. And we had snow that Easter. So, here we are, first week of April or whatever it was, and there's snow on the ground. It's like snow in spring and Easter. There was like the first time that I gathered that we have snow in spring. So we had going outside, there were little bunny tracks in the snow in the front yard. And the little Easter egg hunt that took place there that morning for me and my sister included, oh my goodness, there's bunny tracks in the snow and it's Easter. And yeah, thanks. That's probably one of my earliest Easter memories. And just what will we have snow this Easter? Doesn't look like we will. We'll probably have rain.
Yeah. We had enough snow last week. Last Wednesday, was it? Or Monday or whatever day it was, to last us a good long time.
That was eventful. That was definitely.
Yes, it was. Okay,
eventful.
So here's the funny thing. How did the bunny and Easter eggs become compatible? Bunnies don't lay eggs.
I know.
German
German. Okay, German tradition.
I already
But that's I'm not asking for the origins. I mean, what made that connection? Why would bunnies be synonymous with eggs? They don't lay eggs.
Because they're very fertile.
we do.
They're good at math. They multiply a lot.
Yeah.
All right. So the other thing is contrast your story with.
Bunnies
I remember.
Want to eat.
Yeah. I remember one Easter, because it happened to be Kathy's birthday. It was 72, 73 degrees. Her birthday's April 4th. So it was middle 70s. It was unbelievable. And this is just a few years ago. Could have been 5-7 years ago. I don't remember, but it was warm. I remember that day.
Spring in Northern Illinois. You never know what you're going to get. I do want to share. My friend Gary turned me on to something before we get too far. Before I completely forget, Rockford Regional Wildlife Coalition has got an event coming up here next Saturday. And when he turned this on to me, I was like, I'd never heard of Rockford Regional Wildlife Coalition. And then I looked into it, and an old friend of mine, I haven't talked to her in years, but we worked together for a short period of time. Christina Oates is part of this. She does Christina's Critters. She specializes in raccoons. You've got Belinda specializing in small mammals, Lisa in all mammals, Candy and Steve in raptors, birds of prey. And there's a birds of prey thing that they're doing, I believe, next Saturday. Meet your Rockford wildlife rehabilitators at Midway Village Museum. It's 1 to 4 next Saturday afternoon, a free event that's open to the public. Free refreshments, live performances from Little Miss Ann at 2:00. She's got some, she's a musician, birdhouse decorating, crafts, face painting, birds of prey meet and greets. We always talk about what they do over here at Atwood Center and the birds of prey when they feed them every Saturday at 1:00, which is gross. It's intensely gross. It's just, and your kids would love it. They're going to do something like that out at Midway Village Museum next Saturday from 1 until 4. So the Rockford Regional Wildlife Coalition is another local area not-for-profit. We'll probably have them on the show here eventually as well. So put that on your calendar if you want to look something to do next Saturday afternoon. All right. And let's do all things PAWS before, or do we want to do trivia first and then tour? What do you want to, we haven't really set an order for this, have we?
Well, let's do the tour first.
Let's do the tour first. Then we'll do trivia, big number.
The show is running a little longer than it used to.
We're
Is
going a
that-
little bit longer. I don't want to go too much longer, but we'll go a little bit longer. We'll put
I
you on
didn't
the
really
screen.
pick out a cat this morning, but I
Boom.
wanted
There we
to
go.
show. I have to mirror this. Our adoptions for cats has gotten, this is of course the end of March, so we've got
One more. Well,
again one more
last
day.
day today,
And
essentially.
then the dogs are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which tends to be what we have every month because February it was 5, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 25 cats. So it's
Nicely done. Pause.
same as last year. Last month. I'm sorry, last year. I wanted to show you this cat, but now he's not out.
We got research done for us. So I'll put it on the screen here real quick. Thanks, Dan. German immigrant tradition, Osterhaus.
You didn't just want to listen to what I said, right?
There we go. You were right. You were absolutely correct.
This is Fluff McDuff.
Wow.
Hello, McDuff.
I haven't put, he's in one of the side cages, so I don't know how totally friendly he is. But look at that mane. He looks almost like a lion with that mane.
Yes, he does.
So his name is Fluff McDuff. Hey, Fluffy.
Hello.
How old is he?
Oh, he's purring. I don't know if you can hear him purring.
Nope. Too quiet. Can't hear him.
You can't hear that?
No.
Oh, sorry. He's purring away. Fluff McDuff. What are they? Probably a guess. Oh, they're saying he's just a year old. So he's a young cat.
Oh, he's so beautiful.
Fluff McDuff. I was going to knock you over. And there's kind of I know I usually just go to one. We've been doing just one cat lately, but and then this one is Ralph. He was adopted.
Great cat.
Returned. I'm sorry, I was reading the sign.
That's okay.
And there were 2 cats that were returned that I kind of was sad about, Ozzy and Rupert, who are brothers. And I think it's Ozzy is a special needs cat. I don't know why they were returned. But they're a bonded pair. And they were adopted when they were just 2 or 3 months old and then returned. They were adopted from PAWS as small kittens and recently returned. But they're very sweet pair of cats. And his problem is not, is just a neurological problem. And they say that he needs a supplement. But he has a great personality. So that was kind of the 2 that I was thinking and worrying about. Because once they're adopted, we think life is going to be fine, but sometimes they get returned.
Mm.
That's sad. So I don't know anyone else we need to look at. There's just the 5. There's some kittens in here, but they're all sound asleep.
Sleepy time.
There's Macchiato. who's been a long time. Yeah, we could use an Easter miracle. He's been here a long time, but he's kind of got an attitude. So she has an attitude. Can you hear her meow? You got an owie on your nose, honey.
Oh, little scab there.
Yeah.
Little.
They spoil her and they let her out, and then she thinks she can be out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our
happens.
tour.
All right. Nicely done. 815-299-PAWS.
We didn't show the dogs, but we've got some dogs coming in this afternoon for an open house, and I think we also have which I didn't mention before, we are having a yoga thing again. Yoga with puppies.
Oh, yeah. I saw some pictures of that.
In April. I think it's on the web page.
Okay. Check out the Facebook page. It's on there. There's an event, I think that someone created for yoga with the puppies. Let's see if I can bring it up here for you real quick.
Sounds like fun.
I think it's not this Saturday.
Puppy yoga, April 13th. Yep, 2 weeks. Puppy yoga at the market. You've done that at the Rockford City Market before, the indoor part of the market over there. So
yeah,
that's coming up in,
and it's really,
in 2 weeks.
Very quickly sold out. So if you want to do yoga with puppies, sign up quick.
Only 40 tickets are available through Eventbrite. So yeah, if you want to go, copy link address, go to the chat. We're just going to put that right now into the chat. Boom. Oh my gosh, that's a huge link. Sorry about that.
Oh,
but
my
that's
goodness.
what it
I was reading about.
Oh wait, I'm writing it down. HTTP. Wow.
All right.
Before I ever knew how to copy and paste, I would do that. I would actually write the whole thing out.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Not anything like that. I would never
had to learn.
The
things we had to learn once we started using computers.
Load a game or something on your computer. You had to fill everything.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
If you missed one.
All right. Before we get to our big number of the week, Tom's got some trivia for us. Tom, what do you got?
All righty. Some trivia.
I still haven't made an intro for you. Someday I'll make you an intro, Tom.
I don't care. You can just go trivia. There you go.
Trivia challenge.
You know what? We should all have kazoos. And then.
We get our earphones. How are we going to get kazoos? We tried for the earphones.
I don't know. They sell them at Walmart, I think.
Earphones?
I have my fancy blue kazoo.
Wow.
My blue kazoo has its own little pouch, but it's actually silver. So go ahead and figure that one out.
Okay. Well, paint it blue.
The carabiner on the blue kazoo patch is blue.
Okay, there you go. That is just really weird. Okay, here we go.
And I do have a Mongo Loud kazoo bowl that's blue, but it's not made by the same company.
That's like a kazuba. Looks like a tuba and a kazoo together. A kazuba.
Here we go. All right.
Oh, wow.
I'm just a big kid.
Well, that's 12 seconds I'll never get back. All right, here we go. Here we go, folks. Question number one. Round number two. Question number one. The Google corporate headquarters is known as the Google blank. It's more kind of like the building is referred to as this. Once again, the Google corporate headquarters actually has a name. They call it the Google blank. Fill in that blank.
The Google mothership.
Joann, do you have a guess?
No, I really don't.
The Googleplex.
Googleplex. I have heard that before.
I knew you had. I knew you had.
All right.
All right.
Fail. Try again.
On November 3rd, this is question number 2. On November 3rd, 1957, this was the first animal ever to orbit the Earth. It was Sputnik 2, which tells you, of course, it was Russian. What kind of animal was it? And for bonus points, name the animal. The animal had a name.
Was it a
All right, Joanne.
chimpanzee?
What do you think, Gregor?
It was either a monkey or a dog. She's going chimpanzee. I'm gonna go with dog.
A dog is correct. Do you know the dog's name?
Sputnik?
Weightless.
You either know it or you don't. You'll never guess it. Laika, L-A-I-K.
A Russian dog.
Yeah, L-A-I-K-A.
I was just
Laika.
seeing a chimp go out into space. It must
Yeah, I
be-
believe they did. I think we probably did the chimp or the
The
monkey.
U.S. did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. They were serious. We were monkeying around. All right. Final question. Rockford trivia. Here we go. I've been doing a lot of schools lately. I don't know why. All right. What year did Auburn High School open for business?
Oh. I don't have any help today, so it's no fair.
Auburn High School.
If you
well-
want multiple guess, I can do that.
Was it in the
Auburn High
60s?
School, when did it open?
I'm guessing 50s or 60s. That's where I'm narrowing it down, but I don't know.
None of my
Okay.
PAWS mates know.
I'm going to give you 3 options.
All right, multiple choice.
Was it, multiple guess, was it
Okay.
1960, 1963, or 1966?
It's in the 60s.
It is in the 60s.
I guess
Yes.
it's in the
Nin-
60s.
Okay, not good enough. Not good enough. Remember, this is for 25 points, a score to match, and a chance to advance to the bonus round.
She took 66. I'll take 60. 1960.
60 is correct.
All right.
1960 is correct.
Greg is,
And there you go.
is going to
Tough one.
Gregors wins the trophy. Here you go, Greg. I am transferring it to you.
Your trophy.
Hey, how did it turn into?
Hey, it looks a little different when it transfers through the
You know,
portal.
That's what
Right.
happens through those portals.
Here, Joann, I'm going to give you a participation trophy. It is Mr. Snoopy. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wrong side because of the mirror image.
They got
Oh,
a
I
mirror
know.
image.
The mirror thing drives me nuts. I go to scratch my head and I'm like, wait a minute, it's this
Yeah.
side. No, wait, I don't know.
Which stand is it?
Let's do this. Our current race to 10 has Joann leading by a score of 3-2. And Joann slipping around back and forth. She's getting all dizzy back there. All right.
Yeah, swap.
Uh,
Her shirt actually says swap.
swap. Big number
Pause backwards.
Wops.
of the week this week is 117. I know that's not a very big number, but you'll hear the story and you'll agree to me. You'll agree with me that it is 117. The answer is Swish or Spain. Swish or Spain. And Tom has texted me his guess. All right. So Joann's got to give me her guess.
My
Joann,
answer
3, 2, 1.
is
Go. Swish or Spain?
Swish.
You're going Swish. Awesome. Okay. You know what tournament has been taking place last weekend and this weekend?
I'm hoping the Swish tournament.
March Madness. Swish. All kinds of baskets being made.
Okay.
Americans will place an estimated $2.7 billion in legal bets during March Madness tournaments this year.
So that's the Swish answer, right?
2.7 billion is a big number, but it's not the big number of the week that I chose. Spain is the number that I chose. So we have a tie score, Tom and Joann. The average nursing home stay for an older person, average nursing home stay is 835 days. That's about 2.3 years.
Hmm.
The world's oldest living person is Spain's Maria Brañas Morea, and she's taken the decimal point right out of that average stay. She's been in the same nursing home for 23 years.
Wow.
She's hard of hearing, has some limited mobility,
Excuse me.
but those were her only complaints. She turned 117 years old this month.
Wow.
Wow.
And the last 23 years of her life so far, she's been in a nursing home in Spain. That must be one awesome nursing home. If anyone wants to study the good way to do a nursing home, they need to go to Spain, find Maria Brañas Morera, Morera. There we go. And say, hey, how does this work? Because this must be a nice place.
Wow. So she's 94 when she goes in. 94 is a good life.
Yeah.
That's outliving most people by 15 to 20 years. Because I think the average lifespan is like 76 for women, 74 for men, something like that.
Yeah.
It's an average. I mean, there are a lot of 80, 90-year-olds out there, but there are a lot of people that die in their 30s, 40s, 50s too. So
it's amazing. It's
that
amazing.
Is incredible.
Well, we have a tie score, 3-3 now, Tom and Joann. And I'm going to do something post-show today, so I'm not going to ask you both to stick around for it. But if you want to, you're welcome to. Any final shout outs or thoughts before we wrap up the
well, I will stick around with you if you don't mind. I mean, I will, whatever. I'm not sure what you're doing because there are a couple of thoughts I had anyway on some things, but I just want to say one thing in case we couldn't cover it. For those, we all heard about the tragedies over there on Harrison and Alpine area. It's no secret that there's a lot of people suffering out there. Sorry, I keep banging my table. There's a lot of people suffering out there, and kind of to the point of our previous guest. I think Brian was saying it, maybe Marc, all three of them actually said it. There are a lot of people with mental illnesses, and people don't want to approach them. They don't want to embarrass themselves. They don't want to embarrass them by saying, hey, can I help you? Try to make that a priority. If you think somebody needs help, if nothing else, hold their hand, pray with them, do whatever you have to do. Try to get them help. Try to offer them help, even if it's just a hug and, hey, I love you, man. Maybe that is something that puts them in the right direction, because the tragedies that happen are just senseless. I mean, senseless and tragedy, it's redundant. You know, it can't happen. It shouldn't happen. And we can do things to prevent that. So keep those people in your prayers if you're the praying type, and just love one another. That's all I have to say.
I do, though. After the in crowd on Thursday night, we were sitting around chatting, and of course, one of the main topics of conversation was the tragedies that took place this last week, and mental health care in our country, not just in Rockford, but in our country in general. And obviously, you know, when you get some friends together, sitting around, kind of shooting the breeze and just talking casually, what's the joke? You know, are you solving any of the world's problems? You know, you're trying to solve all these problems.
Right.
And the only thing that we could come up with that I think we all pretty much agreed upon was, it seems to us, mental health services are not a 9-to-5 job. And most of mental health professionals probably need to be focused on evenings and weekends. Maybe something can be done so that mental health professionals are more on call and working evenings and weekends when things like most of this stuff happens, rather than your typical 9-to-5 day. And this is just 5-6 friends hanging out, chatting and spitballing and wondering what the solution is. There's no one solution, because we're all different. Our mental health challenges are all different. But what can we do as a collective to try to make things better? And that was the one thing we came up with that we all seem to think makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, no, that's well said. It's, you know, along those lines, mental health doesn't quit at 5. It doesn't quit on Saturdays and Sundays. It's not an 8-to-5 thing. It's a very real thing. It's a very real thing. And if you remember back to our NAMI event, I talked a little bit about my own situation with my brother, who suffered severely with mental health issues. They got corrected, you know, for the most part, with the help of a lot of people. and it affects so much more than just that person, as we found out this past week. So.
Right. Absolutely. Well, being that it's Easter, I wanted to wrap up the show this week with something Easter related. And so I have something that we can't play a song. A song will just get flagged and we won't be able to hear, it'll get rid of our show. But I can read lyrics to a song. And so I've got the lyrics to the song He's Alive. This is a song we used to play back in the day on 101 QFL, WQFL radio here in Rockford. You might remember Don Francisco. And
I remember him well.
This is quite the song. So sit back, relax, and enjoy my lyrical reading interpretation of the amazing song written by Don Francisco called He's Alive. The gates and doors were barred and all the windows fastened down. I spent the night in sleeplessness and rose at every sound. Half in hopeless sorrow, half in fear, the day would find the soldiers breaking through to drag us all away. Then just before the sunrise, I heard something at the wall. The gate began to rattle and a voice began to call. I hurried to the window and looked down to the street, expecting swords and torches and the sound of soldiers' feet. But there was no one there but Mary, so I went down to let her in. John stood there beside her as she told us where she'd been. She said, "They moved him in the night. None of us knows where. Oh, the stone's been rolled away, and now his body isn't there." So we both ran toward the garden. John ran on ahead. We found the stone and the empty tomb, just the way Mary said. But the winding sheet they wrapped him in was just an empty shell. And how or where they'd taken him, it was more than I could tell. Perhaps something strange had happened there, just what I did not know. John believed a miracle, but I just turned to go. Circumstance and speculation couldn't lift me very high because I'd seen them crucify him. Then I saw him die. Back inside the house again, the guilt and anguish came. Everything I'd promised him just added to my shame. When at last it came to choices, I denied I knew his name. And even if he was alive, it could never be the same. And suddenly the air was filled with strange and sweet perfume. Light that came from everywhere drove shadows from the room. Jesus stood before me, his arms held open wide, and I fell down on my knees and clung to him and cried. He raised me to my feet, and I looked him into his eyes, and love was shining out from him like sunlight from the sky. Guilt, my confusion disappeared in sweet release, and every fear I'd ever had just melted into peace. Because he's alive. He's alive. He's alive, and I'm forgiven. Heaven's gates are open wide. He's alive. He's alive, and I'm forgiven. Heaven's gates are open wide. Don Francisco, you'll find it on YouTube. I encourage you to listen to it. In fact, I think I'll go ahead and grab the link before I wrap up the show. Tom, happy Easter. Praise God, he's alive.
You too, buddy. Nicely done, by the way. That was awesome. I'm a big fan of Don Francisco. I don't even know if he's still with us. Is he?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But one of those powerful songs that we played back in the day, and
yeah,
you need to start cutting carbs. I need to.
There we go. Can't do that.
No, I'm about to go add carbs. As a matter of fact.
Where's my share?
They're called cinnamon rolls.
There we go.
My mouth has been watering for the last hour and a half. All right, buddy. Well, I'd love to talk some Packer football, but maybe next time, huh?
Next time. We'll catch up next time. Have a great, great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Dan says amen, my friends. Amen.
Thank you, Dan. Bye,
all right, buddy. Love you, brother. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
In crowd, 815 in crowd.